So we've engaged the girls with what friendships are, and we've asked them to think about the kind of friend that they are and the kind of friend that they'd like to be. But it's really important that we take them on a bit of a journey, isn't it? And the next E in our little 4 stages is equip. We're going to equip the girls with being able to look at their friendships and analyse a little bit what's going on and how they might do things differently. My daughter is 3, she's about 3.5 actually, and recently I had a very interesting conversation with her that I didn't think I'd have until she was much older. And I was going to take her around for a little play date with her friend Clara. But Daisy didn't want to go, and I said, why don't you want to go? And she said, because I'm not Clara's friend anymore. Clara is Alfred's friend. And we had this massive conversation about how you can be friends with more than one person. And it took her absolutely ages for me to convince her, it's okay, Clara can be friends with Alfred, and she can also be friends with you. So it was great when I dropped her off at Clara's house, that Clara's mummy opened the door and Daisy stood on the door on the porch and announced, I can be your friend Clara, and you can be Alfred's friend too. But actually it's not just 3-year-olds that need to hear that. We need to hear that all the time through life. And one of the big ways that we equip girls is to consider how are you friends with somebody and you're friends with other people, and they can be friends with other people. And I think particularly during the adolescent, the sort of pre-teen and up to the mid-teen years, this whole envy and jealousy and sort of gossip and all that kind of stuff can really get to girls and really jeopardise their friendships. So in this second section of equipping, the main thing that we're going to be looking at is the difference between a friendship group and a clique. So girls often will have very close friends with one other person, but generally by the time we hit the sort of pre-teen to teen years, they're generally in a group. And often the falling out happens because there are other people in the groups and who's good friends with them and who said that and all that kind of stuff. So in the equipping section, we're looking at what's the difference between a friendship group and a clique. And I suppose a clique is a group where somehow you've got to aspire to be a little bit different to yourself to fit in. Cliques are groups of people who want to kind of protect their brand, who want to protect their popularity, who want to be seen to be in a certain way, and so they only want people in their clique who reinforce that idea. Friendship groups are very different. Friendship groups gather around a bunch of girls that might have similar interests. They might look quite similar, but actually the goal is not to be with people like them, but to be with people they enjoy being with, where somehow they can be themselves a little bit more. So this is a little bit of a subtle session really, but there's a really great activity that you've got in front of you, thinking about these 2 different groups and helping the girls see when sometimes the friendships they've developed have functioned a bit more like a clique. And we want them to think about what it might feel like to be in the clique, what it might feel like to be outside the clique and not in the popular group. And what it might be like to form a friendship that has a whole range of people in it, and how that might be a lot more healthy and better, not just for you, but for other girls around you. So we're beginning to ask the girls, I know at different ages it'll be different extents, but we're asking the girls to begin to look at how the choices they make and the friends they hang out with and the way they behave as a pack might influence their own attitudes, their self-esteem, their feelings about themselves, but might also affect other people. So we're asking them to do that double looking into themselves, analysing how they're doing, but also thinking about how their behaviour, how their decisions is affecting other girls. Because we do want these girls, don't we, to be living out compassion, to be looking out for each other, to be reaching out, particularly if they are somebody who is very popular. We want them to be drawing others in. And we want the girls who often feel that they're not invited into the popular group to know that they are precious and they are valued and they've got so much going on, and that people actually need to be friends with them because they're just brilliant to get to know. So you're going to have all sorts of girls in your group, aren't you? You're going to have the girls that know what it's like to be popular, and you're going to have the girls that know what it's like to not feel popular. So how you handle this is going to be quite challenging. So our suggestion is that rather than just allowing the girls to pick who they want to be with, you might want to form little groups yourself and invite girls to do activities with girls they wouldn't normally work with. You might have a massive group, you might have a tiny group, but think about ways that you, with the knowledge that you have of your girls, can actually help them begin to do things differently, get out of their comfort zone. They might not like it, but they trust you, and actually it's going to be really good for them to look into this topic. So have fun.